Here's part 4 of our conversation with former Jitters lead singer and lead man Blair Packham. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Canada. I said, okay, you're in a doctor's office, someone making conversation. Little old Jody over here wants to make conversation with you. Okay, she's beside you. I'm talking to you now. And
Yeah.
she says, what do you do, Blair? Like,
Yeah.
what do you say? What do you say?
Well, yeah, I say that I'm a songwriter, and then they say, "Have you written anything I know?" And then I say, "Probably not." And then I start. Then I
No,
say,
no, you wouldn't do. You said that.
"Oh, all the time." Well, I actually find a lot of people don't remember the Jitters songs, like the ones that were hits, until they hear them, and then they think they were done by Doug and the Slugs. Which is fine. I knew Doug and I know Simon Kendall really well from he was on that album Could Have Been King that I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier.
I know Simon. Simon's one of the few. I got to know Simon better than Doug.
Yeah, well, Doug was a little hard to get to know actually, but Simon was the gatekeeper sort of for Doug, and terrific writer, terrific player too. My God, and
Great
really
piano player. Holy moly.
yeah, and B3 player, organ player, yeah, and a lovely guy. But yeah, so people, I find, I don't think in any way I'm being falsely modest. If anything, I'm being the opposite. People, if I start singing, in my solo shows, I sing Last of the Red Hot Fools, and when I do, there's always somebody there who didn't know I was that guy, and they start talking to the person beside them and pointing at me, and going and whispering, "It's that guy," and they're smiling, and then they're singing along and so forth. But people may know the song, but they don't know who did it, and that's fine. That's
Mhm.
fine. I'm really okay with that. I had a good kick at the can, and I feel like it went pretty well. I had, like, most people don't get a kick at the can at all.
With the Cross Canada Report, I remember back then we were playing Closer Every Day and the ballad Mad About You. And I remember going, my reaction at the time was going, where do we start? We can only play 3 songs. It's nice when you get that. You're going, and now and then I'll get a classic rocker that releases an album that I'll go, this is really good. Unpopular pop. Now, I like how you started the project. It's kind of a Beatles, that first tune. What was it called?
You.
Yeah, that has to me at least, a nice tip of the hat. Tell me about that song.
Well, I was seeing another. I was seeing. I was in love with my girlfriend, Joanne, who, and yet, much to her annoyance, I was still secretly sort of obsessed with my previous girlfriend. Not obsessed, but it would come up now and again, and I'd be thinking about her more often than I wanted to be. Not all the time, and not in inopportune moments.
We've all been there.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to separate, and so I found myself thinking about her and thinking, oh yeah, I used to play her songs and say, yeah, this one's about you, baby, and so forth. I wouldn't say baby, but I say that for humorous effect. But I would say this one's about you, and I realized, yeah, they weren't, but this one is the one I'm about to write. This one, you, yeah, you. This song's about you. I said that all the others were, but that wasn't really true. And but this one's about you because I kind of miss you, and the language is very deliberate. I kind of miss you. I was in love with Joanne, but I kind of missed her, and Joanne, I had to actually tell her that songs are like snapshots. They're a moment. It's not how you feel all the time, because she was hurt by that, unfortunately, but not deeply, I don't think. And I think she accepted my explanation, which wasn't bull. It was true. Songs are moments in time. Yeah. So that song, it was meant to be sort of snarky, and it is kind of snarky. The production wise, I wanted it to be Beatlesque, or Cheap Trick-esque, that kind of thing. Power poppy, and I used all kinds of samples of previous recordings. I had some stuff that, like, Ron Sexsmith and I produced an Andy Kim record together, and I had some background vocals that Ron sang, so I put those on the intro, the backwards stuff. It's the backwards stuff that makes it sound Beatlesque.
When you left home, Mom, Dad, I'm taking my pots and pans, I'm leaving. How old were you, and what was in your record collection?
Oh gosh. Well, the record collection was fairly vast at that point, but well. Here's the thing: my parents actually left me. They moved from Toronto to Sarasota, Florida, and they left my sister and I in an apartment on the 47th floor of the Manulife Center for a while. They paid the rent for a while, and then we had to find our own way. But they moved, and so it was kind of interesting. Instead of me having to take the pots and pans, as you say, they left me with a bunch of pots and pans, and I moved them into my new apartment. At the time, I was listening to a lot of Elvis Costello. The Beatles, always huge in my mind, although by then I'd probably stopped listening to them because they were so ubiquitous. I just didn't need to.
Same here around that time, yeah.
Yeah, and I rediscovered them when I had my boy because I wanted to play him good music, and so we had a couple of Beatles CDs, and so I rediscovered them in a big way. But yeah, Elton John, Alice Cooper, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, but I never really got into them beyond that. Yeah, that kind of stuff.